Peace and blessings, family. This is Brother Mike X. Welcome to another clip from my YouTube channel, Brother Mike X Speaks. Today is January 2nd, 2016, and I'm just gonna, shout out all who take notice of, the supposed new year. I know that there's consciousness out there to say that this is not the real new year. This is, a calendar that was made up. I'm not too heavy in that, so I'm not going to speak in depth on that. But a lot of people do recognize this as the new year. And in the new year, a lot of times you want to make resolutions. You take stock of the past year that you just left, and in the new year you want to do things more proactively, more positively. There might have been some goals that you wanted to accomplish that you didn't accomplish. So I really feel like, for me, like it's a magical time, when you can take stock of, the time period and use that as motivation to get more focused. You know what I mean? And get more amped to get some positive things done. So having said all that, man, Happy New Year to whoever believes in that. I want to continue to talk about our condition as a people. And what I want to say is that imagine if someone comes up and punches you in your face, sucker punches you, knocks you off your feet, and you land on your back. You know what I mean? The blow, it didn't kill you. It took you off your feet, but it didn't kill you. And here you are lying on your back, and you're shocked, you're surprised, you might be, hurt and bruised, but you're not dead. The person who knocked you off your feet, they're definitely not going to pick you back up, because that would be defeating the purpose of them punching you in your face. You know what I mean? In the first place, you know what I mean? So as you lay there and as you start to get your senses, it becomes your responsibility to pick yourself up off your feet. Off your back, pardon me. It becomes your responsibility. If you continue to lay there, you wasn't killed, nothing was broken, you're still alive, but if you stay there, it becomes your fault after a while, because you're refusing to use your life force to get back and to climb back up to your former stature as an upright human being. I say all that to say, family, I kind of feel like that about our position on this planet right now as a black people, and I know some people are going to get mad, that this is seemingly trivializing, what has done. Believe me, I know the history. I know the history, family. I know it full well. I walk every day with the history of what white people particularly have done on this planet, particularly to black people. You know what I mean? So, so please, don't attack me and start coming at me with, with history lessons and things of that nature. I'm a student. I'm a seeker of truth. You know what I mean? And I walk with the burden of striving to figure out how to motivate and spark a black awakening. So anyway, that's kind of the, that scenario that I spoke about. That's kind of like how I see us at this point. Those of us who are alive every day. You know what I mean? I feel like some of us have gotten to the point where we are indeed laying on our backs, haven't been knocked off our feet. We are laying on our backs, in mediocrity, in apathy, and we're refusing to climb back up on our feet to regain our stature as human beings, as children of God. You know what I mean? Malcolm, and I've spoke about this. Those who, listen to my YouTube clips, this is not going to be new to you. A month before Malcolm was assassinated, Malcolm X was assassinated, he was being interviewed by a lady from a New York newspaper called The Village Voice. And he said to her, something that was so profound in regards to our movement. He said, our biggest mistake in the past has been to strive to organize a sleeping people around specific goals. He said, first you have to wake the people up, and then you get some action. She asked him, wake them up to what? To their oppression? He said, no, to their own human dignity, to their own self-worth. You know, we don't need to tell anyone, you know, or convince anyone that we've been oppressed, you know, that we've been exploited, that we've been knocked down. All you got to do is look around. All you got to do is look at the generations that went before you. All you got to do, you know, is look at yourself, your life, and the lives of your friends and your neighbors. We know that we've been knocked down. What we don't know sometimes, and I really feel that we don't focus on the responsibility of climbing back up to our full human, you know what I mean, stature, you know what I mean, to our full godly stature as children of God. You know, we don't focus on that much. You know, we focus more a lot of times on complaining. We focus more at times on the fact that we've been knocked down, you know what I mean? But we don't focus on the need for us, as you know, to take ownership over our lives and to climb back up, to being godly in this day and time. You know what I mean? And this time, that's the time it is. You know, that's what time it is. It's time for us to really focus more so on reclaiming our human dignity, on reclaiming our self-worth as a people, to reclaiming our godly heritage as children, you know, of the Most High. No matter what particular cultural, spiritual, you know what I mean, religious, you know, political aspect that you may come from. I don't care about all of that, family. I don't care about all of that. I want to see righteous people standing up, you know, and taking ownership, you know, degree by degree over their lives. You know, yeah, I know, you know, that we've been born in sin, America, and shaped in iniquity, white supremacy / black inferiority, you know, like I've heard Minister Farrakhan say. Yeah, I know that a lot of us, the only thing that we've ever known, you know, was the ghetto. You know, a lot of us, the only thing that we've ever known is growing up in fatherless households. You know what I mean? A lot of us, the only thing that we've ever known is dropping out of school and using drugs and seeking materialism, you know, to plug up the hole in our minds, in our emotions, and in our soul. You know what I mean? To fill up the gaping wound that has been caused to our people by, you know, white supremacy, you know, and everything, the manifestations of white supremacy, capitalism, imperialism, you know what I mean, colonialism. So I know why we do the things that we do, but it's time for individuals amongst us to take the responsibility, you know, to begin to wean ourselves off of continuing to live down to the stereotypes, to continue to live down to the levels of ignorance and savagery, you know what I mean, that we're living on right now. Malcolm once said that history is a people's memory. Without it, they are demoted to the levels of the lower animals. And he was 100% correct, because without an accurate understanding of our history, a lot of us have taken up the life, you know, the habits, the customs of animals, of savages. You know what I mean? It's time for us to begin to move away from that, family. We cannot continue to lay on our backs, having been knocked down, you know what I mean? Having been knocked off our feet, and refuse to rise back up to our full godly stature. You know what I mean? And how do we do that, Brother Mike? I can only tell you what I've had to do, you know, in my own life. You know, I'm definitely not a perfect individual. You know, I definitely, you know, have come up the same way a lot of our people came up, man. Ignorant, you know what I mean? Savage at times, you know, with a nigger mindset. Yeah, I used to have that. You know what I mean? I used to practice a lot of things that I'm not particularly proud of. You know what I mean? But, you know, upon gaining knowledge, you know, upon realizing that there's a truth out there that has been kept from me, you know, and upon accepting the responsibility to seek this truth and begin to apply and practice this truth in my life, I had to take ownership over my life. You know what I mean? I could not continue to just say, yo, man, I grew up in the projects and, and the white man did this and, and they kept us down and all of that type of stuff. So this is why, my life is effed up the way it is. I can't, nah, man. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding, truth, convicts its bearer to do better by himself and to seek to help others to do better by themselves. You know what I mean? So I'm saying all that to say, family, yo, I'm calling on our people, man. Yo, I know it's like there's so many things that we got to do at the same time. And I understand, but I'll tell you this, you got to get to a point of being optimistic, of being hopeful, of having faith in the truth in order to build a new reality. You know what I mean? If we allow ourselves to be stuck in hating others and being bitter and being frustrated and being, judging and ridiculing and shaming, that you can't build. You can't build from that mindset. You can't build from those emotions. The only thing that you can do from those emotions is react. The only thing that you can do from those emotions is to attack and to destroy. You know what I mean? And family, we got to live balanced lives, right? So I'm not saying that we should never seek or get to the point where we're willing to commit, acts of I don't want to say violence, but self-defense. Yeah, we might have to, we definitely have to have in our mindset that we have to defend ourselves. But how much better would it be if we indeed got to the point where we love ourselves enough to where we can begin to rebuild family ties, to where we can begin to take ownership and responsibility over carving out neighborhoods of our own. You know what I mean? To where we can begin to live our lives from a balance that comes from black men and black women, learning to love one another again, learning how to create families, you know what I mean, to where we can raise our young people in the full balanced way that they need to be raised, so that we can begin to learn how to greet each other as men, you know what I mean? Peace and blessings. I love you, my brother. I want for you what I want for myself. You know what I mean? I'm not going to judge you because you're not carrying a particular political banner, a particular religious banner, a particular cultural banner. Nah, man. On a basic level, man, we are able to live amongst one another and support one another in true love and true respect. That's what we need to get back to. You know what I mean? We need to be able to carve out places that we own, that we can control, where our grandparents can walk the streets, man, and feel that they are safe, where our young people can walk the streets, and feel that they are protected. We need to be able to use our collective power, that comes from social cohesion, to be able to build our own businesses, and have our own schools and not be so dependent upon looking to other people to supply us with jobs and to supply us with the things that we need, to stabilize, our communities the way they need to be stabilized. I say again, if somebody has taken the time to knock you off your feet, you can't rely upon that person to pick you back up and to stand you back up. That's something that you're going to have to do for yourself. It would go against the purpose of why they knocked you down in the first place. So get that out of your mind. Stop focusing on that person. Focus on regaining your godly stature. You know what I mean? So that we can be builders, so that we can be creators again in our neighborhoods and within our family structure. You know what I mean? So that we can begin to be all that our ancestors, you know what I mean? And, the God of your particular belief, created you to be. This is what time it is, family. This is what time it is. So I'm calling on, I don't care what you are, Moor, Hebrew Israelite, God, earth, you know what I mean? Righteous Christian, you know what I mean? Righteous Muslim brother or sister, man. Like, yo, let us seek to become masters as individuals so that we can begin to wean ourselves off of depending upon this system and begin to feed vital energy and prosperity back into our lives and communities, man. I gotta go. Peace and blessings.